إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين به ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيد الخلق أجمعين محمد رسول رب العالمين صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم اجعلنا منهم واجمعنا معهم يا أرحم الراحمين. All praise to Allah. Praise belongs to Allah and to Allah only, the one and only God that we worship, that we came from and going to go back to. We thank Him for His guidance. We thank Him for His love, His bounties upon us, and we seek forgiveness. We seek guidance and forgiveness, and we seek protection, and we seek more protection by getting more close to Allah Azza wa Jal. We seek protection in Allah from the evil of ourselves and the evil of our actions. May Allah guide us to His straight path, because those who Allah guide them, they are the real winners in life. And those who are left for their own decisions without guidance, they will go astray. They will miss the straight path. So always pray that you will be among those who stray on the straight path by the guidance of Allah Azza wa Jal and by your pure intention of following Him. Today's topic is a very broad topic, and we have tackled it before many times, but I want to look at it from a different angle. We start by saying أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. The topic of today is stable homes, stable communities. And the shadow of these ayat which we just read, how can we reflect from lessons learned from these ayat to enjoy stable homes that will lead to stable communities? Homes have husband, wife, children, and maybe in some cases father, grandfather, and an extended family. Every member of this family, of this home, Allah Azza wa Jal have guided us how to deal with this family member. What are the rights upon each family member? What are the rights of others upon each other? So we have problems in our homes, and the only reason for that is we are not implementing what Allah Azza wa Jal and Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam have guided us to do or ordered us to do. And the only solution is to go back and learn from Qala Allah wa Qala Rasulullah what exactly we're missing of. Why were many of us were not enjoying stable homes, and that is leading to not enjoying stable communities. We've spoke many times before, and please go back to darfoundation.com, Dar Foundation YouTube, Facebook, and Brother Naeem Banat on YouTube. You'll find a lot of videos, a lot of khutbah about how to treat your wife, how your wife should treat her husband, how can you have the best healthy children ever. Today I will touch upon that a bit, but more into the things that not many shuyukh talk about, not many scholars talk about. It is more of psychology and sociology, science, that I feel, especially from those many cases that comes on daily basis in this masjid about problems between family members, wife and husband, or parents and their children. And all of us know what I'm talking about. I'll start by the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. الدنيا متاع وخير متاع الدنيا المرأة الصالحة. Dunya is a mata'. It's like a good. It's a gift from Allah Azza wa Jal that we can enjoy. And the best of the gift of Allah Azza wa Jal or ni'mah upon us is a wife, a righteous wife, mar'a salihah. Now, is that something easy to have? Not really easy. It takes a rajulun salih to have a mar'a salihah. You need to be a salih yourself, so your zawja, your wife, to be salihah. And that is not a one-time thing. It's a continuous action and maintenance. You need a lot of training from the day you think of getting married until the day you leave this dunya. Maintenance of your homes and the maintenance of your salah and helping the maintenance of the salah of your wife, the righteousness of your wife, the good deeds of your wife, and vice versa. And the wife should help you also maintain and attach to your good deeds and salah. We all know that if you're happy in your house, in your home, if you do not struggle on daily basis of quarrel and argument, if you are a happy person in your house, you're a happy person in your work. And if you're a happy person in your work, you're a happy member of the community, and you can give more. And even more, you will be a happy worshipper of Allah Azza wa Jal. Someone who's performing a salah, worrying about a discussion he just happened to be with his wife, or a wife with her husband, or with their kids. What do you think they're doing in their salah? Are they enjoying the ayat, the khushu', or they're thinking, what I should have said this. When I finish the salah, I'm going back and I'm going to bring another fact on the table to prove that my partner is wrong and I am right. La hawla wa la quwwata billah. What such a ibadah is that? So it is really true. A happy home is everything we want, because that's the small unit of the community. And as I promised you, I'm not going to talk about the ayat and ahadith that everybody knows and it's available everywhere. It's rather talking about something regarding the psychology and sociology. And that brings us to square number one. A lot of scientists that are specialized in family matters found that the number one reason of conflicts in homes between the two main pillars of the house, the husband and the wife, is the understanding of the nature of each gender. Men tend to think that their wives should understand where they're coming from. Women does the same. That's why we hear all the time, what you're doing, the way you think, the way you act or react doesn't seem anywhere near logic. I can't even imagine you could say this or do this. If I was in your shoes, this is not the way I'm dealing with it. You are not in her shoes. And sister, you are not in his shoes. We all hear about that book, Men from Mars and Women from Venus. It's one of the best-seller books in the world. And it's been translated to so many languages, including Arabic. And I believe Urdu and Hindi. Please take a look at it. And I advise you, and I did advise on this minbar before, maybe last year, that the best one I have get across in touch with is Dr. Yasser Aboutaha, a Kuwaiti Islamic scholar, who have produced so many videos, so many sessions summarizing the book of Men from Mars and Women from Venus in the shadow of Qala Allah and Qala Rasulullah, which is very important. We can always learn from the Western scholars in certain topics, but we always have to test those information, test those books and videos under halal and haram category, what's right and what's wrong, because the background, the basis that many Western scholars, especially when it comes to psychology, sociology, family matters, for them the criteria is not the same for us as Muslims. For us it is Qala Allah, Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So, but what happens is we need to learn some practical tactics and more understanding. And we as Muslims, we are supposed to be more advanced in this kind of science, the family happiness. Dr. Yasser Aboutaha, more than 25 years ago, he produced tapes. For those are of my age, you remember the recording tapes? There were two, and the title is in Arabic, فهم النفسيات بين الزوجين, understanding the psychology or the nafsiyya or the mentality of both wife and husband and wife. And they were the best I've heard and I listened to in this matter. Alhamdulillah, whenever I can remember any of these and apply it, it works perfectly. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Now, this is what we need beside taqwa Allah and beside being the real mu'min, and that's why I recited those ayat, that if you have taqwa, فَقَدْ فَازَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا. You want to be a real winners, always keep Allah's orders and commands in front of your eyes in life. But I told you those, I'll give you examples of what Dr. Yasser Aboutaha have said in understanding your wife and for the wife to understand her husband. And if that understanding happened and maintained, believe me, your life, your relationship with your spouse will flip upside down. It will be much better in many ways. Example: men they think in a strategic, big, total way. التفكير الجمعي. They look at things, they go back 10 steps and look at things from far. They look at all aspects from strategic point of view. Women tends to go and look in details. We need to understand this. Here brothers are more than sisters, so please brothers, examine yourself. An example of that, it happens a lot. If your wife tells you, how did you like the lunch I prepared for you today, or for you and your guests? And we all know the best thing you can do after you have a big group of guests is to tell your wife how much we enjoyed her food. Now, in the men's word, in the men's wordings, if he say Jazakumullahu khayran, may Allah bless you, the food was beautiful, amazing, I believe all of us would say, Alhamdulillah, this is a great way of, a great gesture of thanking your wife. What does the wife want to hear? That's not enough for her. The way she is made, the way Allah created her, she likes details. So she is expecting you to tell her, MashaAllah, the soup was the top. MashaAllah, the meat was so tender. The rice was so tasty. The way you have prepared the food on the table, it's like a beautiful decoration. The bread, what she wants to hear details. Now men may look at this as La hawla wa la quwwata billah. Ya akhi, khalas, enough. MashaAllah, the food is good. thank you. But now if we understand the way, the mental process of the ladies, we should not be so bukhala. We should not be so less giving. Give her those words. And if the women understood that men that's not their best skill to go in details, they will maybe sometimes take a small comment and live with it. So both genders should study, analyze, understand the way the other gender thinks. And this is one of the key of success in the relationship. This was mentioned in those tapes which I've heard more than 25 years ago. Another story that gives you another example. Most sisters, and I believe those who are married, they've heard of this a lot, will complain about their husbands not talking in their homes, not talking a lot. When they are with their friends, they cannot stop saying stories and sharing ideas. When you are on the phone, or when I'm on the phone, it may take half an hour with a friend of mine telling him everything I did, but when it comes in the house with the wife, what did you do today? Alhamdulillah, it was fine. How was work? MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah, good. Where did you go? Mississauga. So we answer one word or two words as if that will cost us money. And in psychology they say that men have only capable of talking X amount of words a day, where women can talk 3 or 4 times more. This is also in the nature of men and women. And an example of that, the Sheikh Yasser Aboutaha was a judge in the family affairs court in Kuwait. And he said that a wife came to him complaining of her husband, and she said, I'm not going to tell you anything. I want a divorce. So Sheikh Yasser Aboutaha, as any judge who wants to give a chance for the family to reunite it, and he told her, can I know why? She said, even if I tell you why, it will never change. I've been married for 3 years and I can't take it anymore. And then he asked her, okay, I just want to ask you a question. You don't want to tell me the story, fine. Does he, astaghfirullah, commit mubiqat, kaba'ir? Does he perform salah? Yes. Does he lay his hand on you? No. Does he have a big mouth or swears? No. Is he stingy? He doesn't spend? No, he spends at home. Where is his problem? Does he drink? No. He said, okay, it's one thing only. I didn't want to tell you because you men will not take it seriously. He does not talk at home. He does not say anything. He comes from work, we eat, no talking, very little. He goes take a nap, and then he goes upstairs on the roof. You know, the roofs back in Middle East are flat, and they are used to, different purposes. And he have pigeons, birds, upstairs on the roof where he fly them. And he enjoy flying them for an hour or two. Then when sunset comes, he go back for his tea or dinner, maybe watch TV and sleeps. I don't feel that I have any importance in this man's life. I am very much secondary for him, and I can't live more than this. If I'm not important to him, so why to stay with him? Subhanallah, he does not beat her up, he does not swear at her, he is not stingy, yet for this, she wants divorce. So he told her, I ask you a question. How much information do you know about pigeons, about birds? She said, I don't know nothing about them. He said, okay, I promise you if you come next week, I will help you divorcing your husband. But give me 1 week chance to try one last thing. She said, don't bother. I've tried everything. He said, just listen to me, please. And I promise you, when you come next week, we'll finish it. She told him, okay, what do you want me to do? He said, when you go down from the court, there is a library at the corner. Go and buy the smallest book you find about pigeons and birds. And when you go home, just flip through it, skim it, read few information here and there, and the next day when your husband comes from work, open the topic about what you've read about pigeons, about birds, and then next week come and I'll divorce you. She said it will not work, but I'll do it just because you promised. She bought the book, went back home. Next day at lunch, she said, by the way, I bought a book about pigeons, and I've learned that pigeons of this type, they lay eggs after so many days, and they usually get so many, small chicks. And the guy started talking like never before. Subhanallah, a week passed by, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, and then Sheikh Jassim Al-Mutawwa, Dr. Jassim, received a call, and that was the lady. And she told him, Assalamu alaikum, jazakallahu khayran. You have saved my house. He said, Allah saved it, we're only means. What happened? I thought you're going to come in a week for divorce. She said, I've just said few words about pigeons, and my husband became the biggest speaker ever in life, and we are now sharing everything. So he told her, that was what you were missing at. You want your husband to talk to you, try to find some common interest, try to get inside his word, talk about things he like. But if you talk about things you like without considering his word, his mentality, his background, everybody will have his own space. And that is a problem that happens in many families. The man does not spend time thinking of getting to her word and sharing. Men all hate shoppings. If this was not Jum'ah, I would want you to raise your hand if you love shopping. Women, most of them loves shopping. Why not sometimes men go and tell his wife, today I will come to your word and we'll go shopping to this mall. You're going to make her the happiest person on earth. There are so many criteria. So first we said about التفكير الجمعي والتفكير التفاصيلي, the thinking of from the outside of total thinking that men have, and the women have more details. Men are interested in world issues, finance, bank, politics, the city, election. How many women are interested in those topics? But at the same time, women are more interested in the children behavior, the food, the house, the neighbors, the backyard, the front yard, the decoration. So it's okay that Allah made them this way, Allah made us this way. So we need to understand. And as I told you, men do not talk at home. Women should put a little bit effort to make them talk. And men should know that the ladies, their wives needs to hear they don't just look for your money or for more food or a bigger house. They want to feel they are important in your life. They want to be number one in your life. And that is very true. One last example, and there are so many. Please go and see and read Dr. Yasser Aboutaha, a summary of that great book, فهم النفسيات بين الزوجين, understanding the psychology and mentality of both husband and wife. Dr. Yasser Aboutaha said that most cases that came for him for divorce, they were always miscommunication. And the best way to go out of it is no argument. No argument. If you divorce argument, you divorce shaitan. We all know that Iblis, la'natullahi alayh, every single day he sends his children and grandchildren and servants through the world to spread evil. And then at the end of the day they come and give him reports. And this shaitan will tell him, I made one person kill another one. Oh, good job. The other one said, I made one guy drink. good job. I made wiswas to some guy and he stole, good job. But when someone says, I made a husband divorce his wife, he said, Anta, this is the real work. Come and sit beside me. So that tells you that you are to maintain stable homes, stable communities. There is a huge army who are trying to prevent you from having a happy home. That army of shayateen, not only jinn, ins as well, from people as well. So it's not something for granted. It's not one time, alhamdulillah, I have zawja salihah, I'm done. No, you have to continue maintain it. It takes a lot of management, a lot of work, a lot of dua. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فيا فوز المستغفرين فاستغفروه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم إلى يوم الدين. We need to fix our intention, brothers and sisters. We have to look at marriage and homes as ta'a wa ibadah. We are married, we have homes, we bring children not only because it's natural thing that our body requires. It is because Allah asked us to do so. And Muhammad ﷺ asked us to do so. And those who do not follow the Sunnah of Muhammad ﷺ in getting married and opening the house, فَمَنْ رَغِبَ عَنْ سُنَّتِي فإنه ليس مني أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. A lot of ayat and hadith. So that again will help you whenever to restart, refresh the relationship. Tell your wife, please wife, tell your husband, I am married to you as a ibadah, ta'a. So let's maintain our relationship fi sabilillah. A very beautiful story from Umar ibn al-Khattab time, and he was the Khalifa. He was not only Umar, the Sahabi, he was Umar ibn al-Khattab, the Khalifa. So he had got two powers, a very strong personality, a very tall person, mashallah, tabarakallah, with 2/3 bald, according to his description, mashallah, very broad shoulders, that when he used to walk among people thinks he used to ride a camel or a horse. He had a big, mashallah, him and Khalid bin al-Walid radiyallahu anhum. This man has a personality, a very strong one. Beside that, he became a Khalifa, which made him even more powerful. And most Sahaba used to fear him without even talking. There is a respect, and we're watching because he's not easy on those who do mistakes. This man, he heard a knocking on his door, Umar ibn Khattab, kind of at night. When he opened the door, he saw someone walking away. He called him, brother, come, did you knock the door? He said, yes, but it's okay, never mind. Assalamu alaikum, good night. He said, no, come, alaka haja. Do you need something? I'm the Khalifa, I have to serve you. And that Sahabi said, I came to you for something, but it's okay. No, please tell me. You have to tell me. He said, I came to complain about my wife because whenever we have an argument, she raises her voice loud. And she's very kind of nervous and hyper sometimes. So the time I've reached your door, O Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, I've heard your wife yelling at you. So I said, subhanallah, I'm here to complain about my wife yelling at me, and now I see the Khalifa, Umar ibn al-Khattab, being yelled at. It seems like a very common characteristic, maybe something wrong with me. So he said, I fled without putting myself in such situation. Then Umar ibn al-Khattab told him, don't they clean homes? Don't they take care of our kids? Don't they, we leave them for weeks and months when we travel for, trade or, so it's okay sometimes to give them this room. Subhanallah. Umar, even the Western society have studied his history. His name was a big thing. Rahimahullah. But he knows, he have learned from Rasulullah ﷺ that your wife is a human being who gets mad, who gets moody, who have her time. Give her some room, as long as the respect is the basis. Some of us who came from Middle East, from Far East, we do not, our manhood cannot take, you raise your voice in front of me, who you are. La ilaha illallah. So because Umar ibn al-Khattab understood the real relationship was built on ta'ah, ibadah, he's watching Allah Azza wa Jal, and the wives as well. For a message for the wives, because I don't want my brothers to think I'm here just to defend wives. We are here to make happy homes and happy communities. The last message for my dear sister, my wife, my daughter, my women, the women in our society, that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is Hassanahu al-Albani, and it's from in Musnad al-Imam Ahmad, a very strong hadith, that a lady came to Rasulullah asking him for an advice, and he asked her, "Adhatu ba'lin anti?" Do you have a husband? And she said yes. He answered her, "انظري أين أنت منه فإنما هو جنتك ونارك." Look at yourself, your status in his eyes, in front of him. Evaluate your being in the house with your husband. Watch that carefully, because he is your Jannah or Nar. Which means, if your relationship with him, if you deal with him with taqwa, if you watch Allah Azza wa Jal while serving your house and serving your wifehood, your motherhood, Jannah is granted. Your husband makes dua for you. He misses you when he leaves home. He always have you in his heart. This is a status that grants Jannah insha'Allah for you. And if it's the other way, if you are not watching Allah and dealing with him, if he leaves home and he wishes he never comes back home, being a righteous husband. I'm not talking about those who are astray. You have to watch, sister, that your situation with Allah needs to be fixed. And Jahannam could be a reward for a wife who does not watch Allah with dealing with her husband. It is a combined work. But understanding, the message today is understanding the nature of your spouse and husband. Reading, it's okay. Are you 50? Are you 60 years old? Do you have grandchildren? It's never late. It's never late. You go back and read. Listen. Watch and learn. We learn until the last second of our lives, especially if that learning is made fi sabilillah, to maintain healthy homes. And our children, when they see mom and dad having great relationship, mashallah, this is alone a guidance for them. They will strive to have a similar situation. Whenever I always ask, when younger people come to me, whether girls or boys looking for a husband or a wife, I tell them, check homes. If someone grew up in a troublesome home, they are more likely to bring the trouble with them. It takes time for them to get relief from that tension, war inside the house. So Jazakumullah khair. I hope that with those few minutes we have covered a very important part of this topic. It's a huge topic. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. فهيا ندعو الله عز وجل. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا واهدنا واهد بنا. اللهم اجعل بيوتنا مليئة بالرحمة والسعادة والأمان والحب. اللهم اغفر لنا ما قدمنا وما أخرنا وما هو أنت أعلم به منا. اللهم اجعلنا صالحين مصلحين. اللهم أصلح أزواجنا وزوجاتنا وأصلح ذرياتنا. اللهم اجعلنا هادين مهديين لا ضالين ولا مضلين. آمين يا رب العالمين. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيد الخلق أجمعين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. وأنت يا أخي أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا